had a rating of about a 38, which equates to about 99.5 million viewers during Super Bowl. It was the second most watched Super Bowl in the game's history. Nielsen had quoted that people that had HD TV sets, they had a 15% higher recognition or recall of the commercials afterwards. I don't know if that had to be with the clarity or not. So anyways, again, so tonight's format, we're going to look at the top 10 most TiVo'd TV spots. And we're going to air them all, and then we're going to get some comments from our panels here. So again, the TiVo, they did the first time offer all their subscribers an opportunity to download their favorite commercials after the Super Bowl, which was kind of unique. It was a random sampling of over 10,000 different, or from a sampling of the 10,000 different anonymous households. They actually went through and can calculate all the information back from people clicking through and rewinding and hitting the replay back on their TiVo remote control. So it's kind of fun information that they're capturing. I also like to thank Bars and Tone for doing our commercial grab. Bars and Tone is a full-service video production company specializing in marketing communications video. From concept development to editing and final delivery. They work closely with public relations and marketing professionals, crafting a message that resonates with their audience, and that's at bars-tone.com. So thank you, Bars and Tone. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our panelists, and then we're going to go look through the commercials, and then we'll hear comments from them. Normally on the year, what we've had done in the past, we always get creative minds. And last year we had an ex-Super Bowl 49er, Jamie Williams, kind of give a different twist. So this year's no different. We always have different creative minds. This year we didn't have a Super Bowl player, so I thought it'd be nice to actually have someone that's in the sports realm. So we brought in Rick Kwan, who's a sports anchor from CBS 5. He's a veteran sports anchor on Eyewitness News. Since joining CBS 5 in 1987, Kwan's experience in broadcasting has consistently been recognized by organizations including the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences and the Radio and Television News Directors Association and the Associated Press. So welcome, Rick Kwan. We have Paula Storti, who's the founder and managing director from World Walk Media. She's our only female. I guess it'd be nice. In 1997, she founded World Walk Media, a full-service global communications firm that now has affiliates in 38 countries and resources in 95 other countries. As managing director, Paula represents the firm's local and international network. Campaign experience ranges from direct response and broadcast to interactive, content targeting, and beyond. So welcome, Paula. You guys have to see their bios, quite long, so I had to really condense it. So we have the copies of their bios there. David Smith, CEO from MediaSmith Inc. David is the CEO in MediaSmith, obviously, in San Francisco. He's a 40-year veteran in the advertising media management arena. Dave is a nationally known expert in the areas of new media application, media strategy, media planning and metrics. Has held media management positions on both coasts. Trained in a major agency media department environment. He's been in the independent media service field since 1978 and has founded, or when he founded MediaSmith. So welcome, David. Paul Venables, founder and co-creative director, Venables, Bell and Partners. Paul Venables walked away from being co-director, associate partner at Air, parent of Goodby, Silverstein and Partners, to open the doors of Venables, Bell and Partners in 2001. Clients that have been since found their way to those doors include Microsoft, HBO, Barclays, the Coca-Cola Company, Robert Mondavi Winery, Napster, the Montana Meth Project, and PG&E. So welcome, Paul. Mike Mazza, Executive Creative Director at JWT. He's a 25-year advertising veteran. Along with a stint as a designer at Graphic Communications Limited in Hong Kong, he has held posts as an Associate Creative Director at the Richards Group in Dallas, Shy Day in LA, and Team One Advertising in El Segundo. In San Francisco, he's worked as a creative director for Versace, San Francisco, Goodby Silverstein Partners, Publicis and Howard Riney, and presently at JWT. So welcome, Mike. And last but not least, Dante Lombardi. He's Executive Vice President, Group Creative Director at McCann Erickson San Francisco. Dante joined McCann Erickson in 2001, where he's Creative Director on Microsoft. This is his words. A big global brand if there ever was one. And Hotwire, a tiny brand if there ever was one. As in the order of the day, he's created sources of full integrated global campaigns, some that actually won some awards. So welcome, Dante. So I don't know if you remember all these fun commercials, but let's go ahead and take a look at them. What I'm going to do is play them all 10 through real quick, and then after that we'll play each one and get some responses.
Hey, fella, give me a Bud Light. Hey, give me a Bud Light. In New York, you say, hey, give me a Bud Light. You got a problem with that? Bud Light, you got a problem with that. That's the thing you say, give me a Bud Light, Holmes. Give me a Bud Light, Holmes. If somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say, don't speak English. Bud Light, always worth it. Bud Light, Bud Light, Bud Light, Bud Light. Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. 1, 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I do paper. I do a rock. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. So fat.
FedEx saved us with their overnight service, so we've added FedEx Ground for everyday shipping.
Ground? That doesn't sound fast. Actually, Joel, FedEx Ground is faster than you think.
You can't judge things by their name. Don't you agree, Harry?
Absolutely. Of course.
Joy?
You see, Joel, we all agree that FedEx Ground is fast, despite the name Ground.
Well said, Mr. Turkeyneck.
FedEx Ground. Life comes at you fast. Thank you. There's one in there that can guarantee you income for life. Something right, man. Look at this. Thinking this thing will get us online. Just keep not stick away from We don't have to plug it in. No! Don't even think about it! Blockbuster.com.
Paper or plastic?
Paper's fine.
Like this. Nacho cheese. Old school. Fiery habanero? Yeah. Salsa verde. Oh. Blazing Buffalo Ranch? Giddy up. I need a clean up on register 6. Bayou Chevrolet, Bayou Chevrolet, go Bayou Chevrolet, give some your love.
Holding hands and skipping stones. And we'll go Chevy and a place of my own.
Top is down on the black Corvette, and his fly hooks are sitting on me.
I'm putting the train on Leroy. Hold on, Chevrolet, for your reefer. I like my beat down, and my top. They can see me ride 24 in my Impala.
Say my down, giddy up for a ride.
Nobody can shut that Chevy down, 'cause that brand new Chevy's mine.
I drive fast, so you call me Jeff Gordon. In the black SS with navigation.
No, we're not the Jackson with the old Chevrolet. But ain't we got love?
No, we're not the Jesse. We're the old Chevrolet.
We have been testing the Chic Quattro Titanium to see if it really is all that easy.
3, 2, 1. Ford Advanced Blades Quattro Titanium stays sharp to give you a close, smooth shape with less irritation.
Chic Quattro Titanium.
I think sometimes the brand recall kind of slips our minds right away. And trying to figure out what these spots look like. So I'm going to go through each one, kind of get some feedback here from our panelists. We're just going to go from the top and beginning. Bud Light actually came on top here.
Okay, but if you're in the South, you say, hey, Miller, give me a Bud Light. Hey, Miller, give me a Bud Light. In New York, you say, hey, give me a Bud Light. You got a problem with that? Bud Light, you got a problem with that. In East LA, you say, give me a Bud Light, Holmes. Give me a Bud Light, Holmes. Or, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say, don't speak English.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light.
Bud Light.
So what are the Bud Light? What do you guys think? I don't think we're gonna have too much time for everyone to get a comment, but anyone want to kick off on what their thoughts were on Bud Light coming back to #1?
Well, I think it's great that they managed to go up to the edge and you know, get away with it. It's a spot that, depending on how they did it, could have offended a lot of people. I mean, you take the Snickers tried to do the same thing, and obviously Snickers went over the line because they managed to tick off both straights and gays. So it's a subtle thing to try to find that right blend and get it right, and they clearly got it right.
No speak English. You know, being a minority, I kind of cringe at times when I see minorities portrayed in commercials, and I was afraid, here you're going to get offended. But they carried it off very well, I thought. I thought it was funny. It didn't offend anybody, at least it didn't offend me, and I thought it got its message across.
What was the message?
Bud Light.
Yeah, I thought it did an excellent job of what you have to do when you develop a spot, which is mention the brand at least 3 times. I personally found it a little bit demeaning, and so did a number of the people that I watched the spot with. I was lucky enough to watch it with my neighbors, which range from 20 to, I'm on the upper end of the range at 40. And it was a multi-ethnic crowd. And this one did not get a thumbs up. I mean, it was deadpan on the faces. So personally, I don't think they executed this one very well. I didn't see a lot of smiles. I wouldn't have put it in my top 10 I wouldn't have predicted that it would have even made #1 of the top 10. So it's personal feedback.
I might be in the minority, I guess. It's a cliche. It's full of cliches, and that's dangerous ground to tread. And I think that's partly what Paul is referring to in the reaction she got in the room she was in. Is that if you're, it's a bold move indeed to kind of cast ethnic stereotypes, and then to kind of just serve them up in a very cliched and tired way. I feel like, I didn't laugh at it, to be honest, but I know this room did, so there's merit in that.
I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute, but dumb, and its accents can be funny, and that's a classic comedy stock thing, is the language class, and the one guy gets it wrong, and at the end they kind of pull out the Indian guy who can't quite say it, but I don't know, I really kind of would give it a C.
Yeah, it was all those things, but I think the reason it worked is because if anybody's seen Carlos Mencia's act, if it wasn't Carlos Mencia, it probably wouldn't have worked. It probably would have been offensive, but that's his whole bit. So I kind of went with it. I heard it was okay.
Good point. Again, we're going to have Q&A at the end, so if we could hold that until the end. But let's go through the next one.
Okay, now rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
No fast.
Interesting getting the violence and drinking the alcohol all mixed in one. So, what are your thoughts here? Do you think this was any better than the first one? Definitely a different twist.
Well, David wants me to go first. Personally, I didn't care for the commercial. I thought it was kind of stupid, and using violence like that, it's like, you're just kind of demeaning and dumb, and I didn't find it memorable at all.
I don't have much to add other than it's negative, and when you do negative things for brands online or offline, it doesn't translate to sales. And I also didn't mention the brand multiple times. I didn't see it come up either visually in the form of an image or on the VO, which was a problem for me.
When I was watching the Super Bowl, it kind of took me by surprise, and I was glad that he didn't stab him with the scissors instead of throwing them on. You know what I mean? I think in the world of kind of dopey, kind of white guy humor, it's permissible to throw a rock at a friend. And the part that I really resented, though, was the last shot where it's like the "he's okay" shot, where something horribly violent happens, but the guy's like, "Oh, I'm okay." So that's the only part. I think he should have stayed down, personally.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I think Bud knows who their target is, and they just go for it. It's beer.
There we go. Bud knows who their target is.
Bud, that's a great point. Every year Budweiser has. One year they did the horse fart commercial, which was that famous marketing tool that we all have in our tool belts. Another year they did the crotch bite. You remember the dog bit the guy in the crotch. So you fully expect the rock toss at the head this year, and I just look forward to next year's violence.
Yeah, I want to question if TiVo sampled 10,000 owners of TiVo, how many of them actually recorded things and what their sample was, because I can't imagine how this made it into the top 10.
Yeah, good point. I mean, as you noted when we spoke earlier, I guess there's so many different surveys that were done on people voting, and if you noticed it at all, they were across the map, all very, very different. So, I guess it's not one way of analyzing, but let's take a look at the next one.